So many people are writing to me asking me to make some videos on why traders lose money, sort of like a top 10 list. So what I decided to do is I'm going to start a video series called Why Do Traders Lose Money? And today is episode number 1. So here's the thing about why people tend to lose money as traders. The number one thing to keep in mind is that there's really not one thing. It's usually amalgamation of things that causes people to lose money in the markets. A lot of people out there on YouTube and anywhere else will tell you that there's one thing only and one thing that's keeping people from making money. Well, there might be an order that you can rank things in, but for the most part, it's not just one thing. It's multiple things. Among the things of why people lose money trading is impatience. We generally, as human beings, are impatient, and impatience is worse when it also starts to trigger emotions like it does in the stock market, in the forex market, in the commodity market, whatever market you want. Any kind of market will bring impatience to a breaking point for most people. It's just human nature. Another thing about human nature is that people are inherently lazy. And people want an easy solution to make money. The reality is that any endeavor worth doing in life in general, whether that's learning how to play golf, learning how to cook, or learning how to make money in the stock market, it requires a lot of practice. So there's no easy solution. It's never easy. It's just a matter of how much effort you put into it. I come across a lot of people and I receive a lot of emails about people that just literally want to copy my trades. And I tell them, listen, if you want to just copy my trades, it's almost guaranteed for you to lose money because you have to have your own risk management style. The reality is that people are not willing to go through the steps necessary and put in the work necessary to become successful traders. That's really why a lot of people lose money. So today, let's focus a little bit on impatience. And like I said before, impatience is very much human nature. We are all impatient. We want things to happen right now and not in 1 week from now or 1 or 2 years from now, like it takes for most things at least to learn to get to a certain level of skill set. And impatience can be explained very nicely on the charts. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of charts right now of where impatience is really the core problem of what causes people to make money. A lot of times your trading setups or your active investing setups, as I like to call them, are good in and of themselves, but the fact that people are impatient and start breaking their rules is really what causes a lot of damage in their P&L. So let's have a look at a couple charts. So let me show you guys a couple charts here that explain the investor impatience or trader impatience quite well, and why that is one of the leading contributors to why traders lose money, or why a lot of traders lose money. So this is a stock in specific that I have been highlighting to my clients for some time, and basically what I saw here, just purely technically and keeping it very simple, the analysis isn't so important. It's more important at what people did or did not do. So what I had seen at this point is that this specific stock was basically looking to break higher, and you can see ultimately it did so. But before it did so, it had several attempts that were very, very frustrating to traders, including myself, where I had to take the trade and had to get back out because the stock essentially gave us a marginal breakout, but then came right back into the range, and ultimately that started to work a little bit later on here. If we look at this now on a weekly basis, we can see that we had a very nice weekly breakout ultimately take place. A lot of folks that got impatient and did these trades along with me got very frustrated because we had a couple attempts here where we saw the stock potentially break higher, but then by the week's end, the stock had reversed. I will tell you that out of, let's say, 100 folks that were attempting to do this trade, I guarantee you that 90 or more probably ultimately did not take the trade when it finally did break out because they got too frustrated with it and then just basically forgot about it. So that's one example. Another example here in this stock here, and it doesn't really matter what the stock is, it's more specific about what's taking place. You can see with this stock here has now had quite the downdraft here over the past few weeks and has started breaking below what basically used to be support. Now, there is a bounce opportunity through a very straightforward trading set that I like to do that's taking place here. What tends to happen is if this stock now just kind of flounders around here and doesn't really go anywhere,
or even if it breaks a little bit lower and ultimately it does this, I will guarantee you that 90% of people who were initially looking at this trade will not participate it next time it actually does turn back around. And the reason is because people get impatient. People don't like to try things more than a couple times. And that goes with individual trades, and it also applies to just general trading methodology. If someone is, let's say, trading just basically breakouts, right? The kind of trades that I just showed you guys before on this other chart here. If that's what someone's strategy is, they most likely won't stick with the strategy for more than a couple of weeks, because if these breakouts aren't taking place, they're just going to forget about it and move on to something else. They'll never actually know whether the strategy will work or not, and they'll certainly never get good at it because they only give it a couple of weeks time. Okay, so impatience is one of the major contributors to why traders tend to lose money in the market. So I hope this was helpful, guys.